Hey guys. And he was kind of beating all around the bush, and he said the reason was because really the person he has back home is his spin-dom, and that she finally, and I was like, what? That's a thing?
But there's applying it, and then there's the actual action.
Right.
Like when you discipline a child. You tell
Keep going. And then when we do it, you gotta say, scissor me, daddy, like that. All right?
No, you know.
This is
Different.
not the fucking thing to do. Like,
I think that's normal.
I got you, like, buddy.
Hey,
help her.
Minutes later, I see a pizza slide under my door. No contact. Like, I'm good.
You see the pizza slide under the door with the hands, and your fucking hands slam down on top of it and grab his.
We have an initial physical type of what we like to see initially, because our eye is always drawn to something. I can see a tall guy, big and broad shoulders, and I'm like, ooh, nice. But if he talks to me, I'm gonna be like, maybe not. Okay, so Mike, until we get the rest of the guys in, do you want to start with your first question for us ladies? First of all, are you drinking a Capri Sun?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. First things first, what is happening?
So listen, right? I'm thinking about bringing the Capri Sun back.
I was about to ask, do you currently have a Capri Sun? I can see that your hand like this.
I have one. I did. But look how little this cup is.
Oh my. Okay. Is it a normal size cup that you just are holding in your giant hand? It literally looks like you just like did this.
Mm-hmm. I just sip it and it's gone. It's like taking a shot for me, and it's like a 32 ounce for you. But
probably.
All right. I'm sorry for all. Let me do the formalities part of it. Let's get to it. Anyway, so welcome to the We Got Questions podcast. I am one of your co-hosts, Mr. Mike Hennessy. I am joined by. Am I going the right way?
Yes.
The basic one.
For the first time, right way.
It's been a little while. I know we had a little bit of, the vacation. Last Monday was my daughter's birthday.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a child anymore.
Is that how you feel?
She's not a child. This girl she's been out of being a child for a very long time. She's a teenager. What's up, Rachel?
They're still children. They're just larger children.
Say that to the problems I'm about to start having. Y'all done went through this already. Anybody who got them kids, y'all done went through it. Leilani, what's up? Thank you for finally making it. Hopefully you subscribed. But anyway.
My 21-year-old is still, not 21 yet, 21 in November. My 20-year-old is still very childlike. I'll just say that. As soon as she wakes up.
Oh crap, I ain't doing the due diligence. People like, yo, send a link. I'm like, my bad. Anyway, make sure to listen. Everybody that is in here, if you're not following the podcast, please follow the podcast. I feel like we have a very, very dope thing that's going on, and a lot of people are learning things.
Mine's grown.
Us talking is who? Oh yeah.
Yeah, mine is grown. She's 20.
Yeah. My kid is getting up there. So, at some point she's gonna be 18. So everybody like, oh, she's still young. Mm-hmm. Say that to the 5-year-old I used to have. That ain't there no more. But like I said, make sure that y'all following everything. This brand of what we talk about is dope. We keep on pushing it. My goal is to get us to 300 subscribers because we're close to it. Let's get to the goal is to get to the 1K, because if we get to the 1K, then YouTube can start dispersing stuff to us. The people that's watching, share it out to somebody that you feel as though can benefit from this conversation in particular, because tonight's topic is about the issues with dating. We all have issues that
modern dating.
Okay, modern dating. I mean, no, we're gonna throw some. No, it is modern dating, but a lot of them old school shits like to come work his way back into the modern dating. That's the problem too. When you come in there and the price of like when a person used to make 100,000, you was like, oh, that's the man. He making 100,000. If one person making 100,000 now, you poor. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but we're still talking. It's still current. What's happening currently?
No, it is happening currently, but it's old stuff that's coming in. Let me finish the formalities, y'all. Me basically came in here and whooped my ass with it. But yes, we're talking about the issues of modern dating and the things that revolve around it and all the stuff that's happening. So, let's sit tight for that. Like I said, follow, share it out to somebody that you feel like can benefit from this conversation. Everybody can
tell a friend.
I thought you said Tyler Perry, but you said tell a friend to tell a friend. Sorry, I don't know. Maybe thought that.
Tyler Perry to Tyler Perry.
Oh, there go Milan. Hey, hi Milan. That big ass hand, like, oh, that's all dope. I guess because I'm using the iPhone product right now, or the i products right now. So, basically, want to kick it off, and you would like for me to do it? Like,
no, go ahead. Go ahead. You starting? Let's go ahead.
Okay. So, in your personal opinion, when it comes to the issue with the modern, with the modern dating and the dating that we got going on, what would you say is the biggest downfall when it comes to dating right now? What do you think are the biggest downfalls of dating right now?
I would probably say, and I'm sure we'll find this as we
talk. Your experience.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll find this as we talk that, and it'll probably be interlaced in everything. I think it's the way the structure of dating and the way we see dating, how much it has changed based off what we have seen over the years in social media, just like what's reflected in social media and how that has influenced the way we view, like, not only what dating is, what makes a good relationship, what our partners are supposed to be like, what it's supposed to look like. I think we've been just so engulfed in what we see, like, on the phone and on our, TVs, and we're so influenced by that I think it's changed the way we date.
Okay. I think so too. Like the way that we date, as far as right now, because I feel like it has changed. Mm-hmm. What I mean by that has changed. 2020 changed dating. I can clearly, and I think I said this before, I remember how I dated in 2019 when I was with my ex compared to 2020 when it happened to me and her broke up. When we broke up in 2020, everybody was secluded now. So online dating became a lot more prevalent. Having dates through, like how many of you talking right now, that's how people were having dates before, or now, like, because of the social distancing and stuff like that. So they got to know each other from distance. But we don't tend to talk about the ones that were going through the problems when they were actively in a relationship and they were secluded in the house together. Like, that's a thing too. A lot of problems started happening. A lot of abuse started happening. People finding their own individualisms of themselves, like individual things like that they like. It was like, okay, I don't want to be cooped in the house. I want to find things to do. I want to do this. I want to do that. So now more businesses started, more entrepreneurship started. Like, a lot of things that came out of it was good, but at the same time, what's up, Rena? I think Rachel wrote something, but at the same time, it's like, I believe like that is what changed it up too, is that people wanted to be outside so bad, but they also it was so much social media. TikTok blew up like crazy. Mm-hmm. All these different platforms started blowing, and it's like everybody didn't care to go outside anymore. No one cared to be around people like that no more. Now it's kind of like, remember how they used to say the guys be sitting on the walls waiting for the women to come by so they can dance with them? I feel like even the women are on the wall now too. So everybody lined up against the wall waiting for somebody to type of attention. So I think that's another cornerstone in, the problems with dating. Listening to other people's stories that I know, I gotta say expectations are high with low output, and the pace is rapid. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think I honestly feel like that is also attributed to the way social media has changed the structure of dating, right? I think one of the reasons why, and this is just one of the reasons, not the whole reason, and it definitely isn't the whole reason why this exists, but let's just think about, like, you have couples accounts, right? Or you have people who post their relationships or who they're dating or where they're going. And I think we fail to realize that a lot of times what we're seeing is performative to some extent, right?
Yeah.
They had to set up a camera, set a scene, and record it for us. And there's a possibility that when they recorded that, if it didn't look right, they recorded it again, right? But
the self-gratification.
That became the measure of how we often measured what our relationship is supposed to look like. So if I see this, I'm so heavily engulfed in this, and this is what the perfect relationship looks like. This is what, like, dating is supposed to look like, what a person's supposed to provide for me, what my dates are supposed to look like, right? This is what I start to, I'm not saying me, but this is as a person who's viewing it, they might be like, this is what I expect my relationship to look like. This is what my dates are supposed to look like. This is what I want. If you can't do this for me, and if this is not what it looks like every day, then I don't want it. So we start to measure and meter our own personal relationships that exist outside of social media to what we see on social media, not even thinking about the fact that, like, someone set a camera up to record that. Right. Like, you're watching these couples be, and not to say that it doesn't exist and that it's not real, but the things that we are seeing are things that were, lighting was chosen, a camera was set up, they set a timer, and they recorded it, edited it, set it to some background music, and then put it on there for our consumption. You know what I mean? And we don't have background music every day, guys. So
right. Like the background music. Now I'm sitting there thinking about it. It's like, those are, now hear me out, there are people who use the background music for positive things like their business.
Absolutely.
To do the little weird stuff that y'all people like, AMSR and shit, or ASMR, whatever you call it, AMSR, whatever it's called. To listen to people whisper really loud, with closing your ear and make bubble noises and stuff. But I totally agree. Like, everybody, you know what it's like? It's like, remember Brandy at the end of all her shows when she would write her diary and she had her music playing in the background? That's what it was like. The Moesha thing. Everybody has a story to tell. Cool. Right. That's the good part about it. But at the same time, the problem is there's no reality in that part too, because I feel like sometimes, not gonna say there's no reality, but sometimes how did you frame this? Did you want to frame it that it just looks like it's always an issue that's happening to you? Or is it something that more or less like an experience that you're having that you could potentially be a part of too? Like, how is that story being told? Because you only get what you want them to know.
Yeah.
So if I want you to know that somebody else just did me dirty and did me wrong, that's all I'm gonna share is that.
Exactly.
So now I'm not even in the story no more. Now I'm just, I'm a part of like people want to now ask me questions and want to cope with me and do this and do that. So now you become the superstar on social media. You're not even, it feels like it's a reality show more than it is your actual life. And somebody was talking about this too. Like, and it, like I said, social media is dope because some of my friends have met some amazing people through social media, through the dating sites, through all these different things.
Yeah.
That are enjoying life wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
But you also got other aspects of it too. So I was thinking about something. What is one of the other things about the dating world can be potential issues? Everybody wants to be a superstar. Everybody wants the spotlight to be on them. So you have shows like Love is Blind and Temptation Islands and all these different shows that appears for dating, and they put themselves out there and people think or romanticize that's how dating is supposed to look. And it's like, no, some people turn out, next thing you know, you go look at their Instagrams, they standing on the beach turned around with their ass showing, nothing wrong with it, do what you do. Yeah. But like, all my followers is getting up now. So do they even care about the part of finding love? Or do they care about that they just now became a superstar?
No, it's 100% that. Yeah.
And it's everybody's looking at them now.
There's so much about dating that has become performative for those reasons. Like the reason why you have couples who decide to who will often put their relationship on like social media, but it's only the beautiful, glorious, glamorous stuff, right? You know what I mean? You only see it you only see what looks good. And this, just like you said, there's also couples who get together for the convenience of, can we profit off of this? Like, can we be the new it couple? Oh, am I gonna get balloons? I was hoping for balloons. Are we gonna be the new it couple? Is social media gonna love us because we're both good looking and we're together? You know what I mean? That happens a lot. There's a lot of superficial connections that are being made for the purpose of selling it to the masses. Happens a lot. Do you want to go through some of these comments?
Sure. Go ahead. I didn't even know all the comments was coming in like that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ray was saying social media has smashed social reality and on too many levels. I agree. Leilani, you know what I find weird? Attention has become a drug to people. Being seen and noticed is what almost everyone wants. 100% agree. And let's see. Hold on. I can't. Oh, Mike. You got a question for you.
Oh yeah, I put up a piece of chicken.
Oh. Piece of chicken. No, listen, I agree with all y'all. It's crazy. And you know, I feel like there's a reason why, like I've mentioned before, I'm very private about like a lot of things in my life. And there's a reason why I choose not to put my relationship on social media. I feel like there's no line of privacy anymore in dating. Everything is put on display. When you meet a person, you make a post about it. When you're in a relationship and you make a post about it. When you go on vacation, y'all make a post about it. When you have a date, there's a post about it. When there's an argument, there's a post about it. Don't let them break up. All your business gonna be told. There's a post about it. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, don't let a mess up happen. There's gonna be a post about that. Like, if they cheated, y'all's text messages finna be like, there's literally no privacy anymore. And it's for that reason, there's a lot of things that I won't even speak about or talk about, like when it comes to doing social media, when it comes to my private relationships. And that's not just like my romantic relationship, but even with friends, like the things that happen offline, I don't like to talk about them. Like, because I feel like there has to be some degree of what's mine and what's personal. I've broken up with people. You will never hear me talk about why we broke up or bash them, because that person was important to me offline, not just online. Or they weren't here for me to make a story to give people who don't give a fuck about me. Why am I telling them my personal private business? But that whole concept almost doesn't exist anymore. And like, people will say and tell everything online to millions of people who don't care.
Right.
But not about them, but are just there for the sheer entertainment of it all.
But you know what? This is to add to it. You have people who will start to judge your life a certain way, right? And now they're the person that can be the critique, come at the critic, and they can tell the good things, but then they also want to tell you the bad things. They're gonna be like, oh, you doing this, they was doing. Their life becomes a TV show. You become a sitcom.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, I never was one to like put myself in that space to always want to be out there with my relationship too. Because
do you think someone is hiding something if they don't put their relationship on social media? Not necessarily. I don't, for instance, for me and my partner, we both agreed that we didn't want to put our relationship like out on social media. You know what I mean? Like, to make it a display. I think we're both very private. Like, we don't like deny that we're in a relationship with one another, and people know that I'm in a relationship. Like, they'll know by my TikToks that I'm in a relationship with someone. But me putting everything that me and him do or talk about, nah. we don't have to post a ton of pictures with each. I don't want to post a ton of pictures with him. My relationship before that was very always like online. The stuff that came our way because of it was so much extra drama, like that didn't even have to be. And it was just because it was visible to everybody and people could pick it apart. Mark, hey yo, you stay eating on camera. I'm looking for the first time in a month that you mentioned.
He fucking it up.
Right.
Time out. See, that's how you know Marcus has been on here in a while. I wasn't the one eating. If you really want to know the truth, that one was eating on camera recently.
I probably did have some snacks. I'll eat candy. I definitely will throw some candy in my mouth. Y'all know that. If there's candy, I'm eating it.
There's candy? I'm eating it. Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
But yeah, no, like I think we both chose that. Like we both decided we just didn't, because it's important to the both of us that we keep it private. But I also understand that because it's such a norm now, that a lot of people feel like if you're not putting me on your, like, if we're not Facebook official, then we're not official. A lot of people live by that. Like if you don't put me, like, if you don't put me up here, if you're not showing me, if there's not a picture of me, you hugged them somewhere, then you must be hiding something.
Right.
Basically, candy might eat a burrito.
A burrito bowl. Actually, it was some good food. That's all. It was really good food. Milan made it, so it was really good.
I feel that's the most publicly booed up relationship, don't you? Because it becomes, I agree.
Becomes must-see TV.
Yeah, it becomes performative. It's like it's up there so we look good. Like make sure we pose when we take this picture because we got to put it up because I want everybody to see when it really doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's what happens between the two of you. If you want to see us while we out.
See while we out. Catch me on the ground. No. So, all right. I had something too. So when I'm learning from what I was reading and stuff like that, because I'm the one that type of person that will go look at stuff and try to get some information. Mm-hmm. They say individualism is one of the biggest things about the dating culture now that can be a problem. Granted, everybody understands it. You do what you want. We're just talking about it. When it's talking about, and it's just a very moderate thing. They're saying it's like a in the middle type of problem. Okay. Is that it's so much self-everything, self-centeredness, self-love, self-care, self-this, self-that. All great. But sometimes you have a moment where it's just you by yourself. You become, I think people eventually start adapting it's just me. So now when you start getting into the relationships and you've been single for a long time, it gets harder to get into relationships now because it's easier for you to just come back to yourself. It can be easier. Let's use the right. I want everybody to understand that I'm using these words, but it can become harder.
Yeah.
Because you're so used to just being you. When you start letting people in, all the problems, all the things quit kicking like this. And sometimes they might not even be problems. They just might be problems for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's a thing. It happens.
I think that can happen for a lot of people, for anybody, especially if you're somebody who hasn't dated. I think before, for a long time, I was like that, but that was like, there was years that went by where I was just more comfortable being on my own. But that was just because I had trained my mind. I was so used to just being me and the kid that I didn't want to deal with the drama of a relationship and the idea of like committing to something. And like, I gotta talk to you every day when I didn't want to talk to anybody every day. It's like, you mean I gotta call you and I gotta talk to you? The idea of it.
Yeah, you got the call.
Like, made me like have a panic attack. It took a bit. I got out of it, but like, yeah, I just didn't want, it felt more normal for me to be alone than to be in a relationship.
Right. Okay.
But then it also has to do with like the way we date, like we have it's more likely for us to, because we're so stuck like at our homes and on our computers and on our phones, putting ourselves out there to meet people doesn't happen often. Like, I don't know when the last time I've been out as a single woman at a bar or a club, just by myself to meet someone.
You don't want to go down.
Hell, I'm too old. I'm gonna be looking like somebody mama up in the club. Nah.
No. Listen, that shit feel like a free fall going in those places.
But you know what I mean?
You feel like somebody dropped a bomb.
Putting yourself out there. You're right. If I'm not gonna find them on my couch, I'm probably not gonna find them.
Who said that? Hold on. Oh, you're saying that like
like you're not meeting anyone. That people used to be like, you're not meeting anyone because you're not putting yourself out there. You're correct.
Right. Now, what Marcus just wrote be true. I know that's true for them. Like, I know for a fact. So I get accused of hyper independence, and it's your mannerism. They don't understand. Like nobody. You know what, Mark? It's because people don't know you. They automatically assume that because of how you are, and maybe the things that you say back to them, they automatically just, oh, he don't care about anybody. He don't care about anything. It's all about like him and or them, how they move and whatever the case is. And like, nah, standards. Some people have standards, and their standards is a certain thing. So that's all it is. Some people's standards a certain way. Met said, oh, I'm sorry. Met said that a while ago. Okay. Now, big one. When people blame other people for their problems, their dating problems.
Example.
Okay. Like if how you was brought up is success in your relationships. Like, oh, I was brought up with mothers that my mom and dad had a good relationship, so you should have a good relationship. Or just in society, okay, people say, oh, Mike, you get anything you want because of how you look. You're tall, this and that. Don't get mad at me because of what I look like, why you can't have success in your relationships. That has nothing to do with me. You have to go out in this world and exist. What?
My body said, I'm sorry. Hold on. I said, I used to blame Mike for my dating habits all the time.
Oh, yeah, whatever.
It's my fault. Oh, gosh.
The good guys. Bam. Yes. That's it. Right there. See what I'm saying? It's like those are examples of people. You want to tell everybody else that, like, oh, this is the reason why I can't have this, or this is the reason why. What up, Boba, sir? What's going on, Barry? Welcome in. People like to blame other people for why they can't. Like, I think I told you this before. People would not invite me over their friend's house to hang out with them because they thought that I was there to take some girl that they liked. And I was like, what? Like, I'm not here for nobody else. Like, it was plenty of times I never even tried to talk to somebody. Never. I'm like, yo, I'm not here for that. And then you got, the others is, oh man, my cousin used to do this all the time. I hope he's watching this. He used to do this shit all the time. He was like, man, I'm ugly, Mike. You handsome, Mark. You remember when our cousin used to do that in particular? Man, you handsome. You look good. All the ladies gonna talk to you. And I'm like, so what? Like, and then I was the crutch behind why they couldn't get women. So don't blame me for why you can't get a girl because your lack of, like, it has nothing to do with anything. I don't think like, okay, somebody can be attracted to me, but I can also be a straight idiot when I talk too. And then they just gonna lose it. They're gonna be like, yo, why don't you just shut up? You look better when your mouth is closed. No diddy. Man, said read a book. Yeah. It's giving I don't have a personality and want to blame women for it. Yo, all the time. So that's a big one. Have you ever had somebody that have done that to you, like a friend, or maybe somebody who was an acquaintance, or like who was cool with you, they wanted to blame you for all the other stuff, like, or try to, you know, pass their problems on somebody else. You maybe hear them talk about somebody else.
Not that I can think of. No, not that I can think of. I've had situations where I felt like, and I don't know if this is necessary. I don't think this necessarily falls into what you're saying, but I've had like people take issue with the type of relationship that I had. And I feel like they were kind of trying to steer me in a way that might cause friction with my relationship. You know what I mean? Or
Right.
I've had like a friend say like, you know, you don't have to like tell your partner everything.
Right.
But I'm like, okay.
Wait, what?
But the thing that we're talking about is like, that's like being deceptive. I don't feel comfortable with it. Like,
that's why I got confused. Like you said it, then I was like, yeah, wait,
no,
what? Like,
you gotta say, you don't gotta tell them like it's cool.
you ain't gotta say shit. Like,
I don't think
what?
I like where this is going. I don't think I necessarily like where this is going. No, I don't want to do that.
Use you as a trophy to attack people. 100% right there again. Listen, there's a lot of 100% going on in this conversation. That's one of them. Use you as the prop. You know, yo, look at my homie, ain't he attractive? Yo, look at my homegirl, ain't she attractive? Get your weird ass out of here. Like, I'm not doing that no more, people. Like, Freddie Gibbs says a line that's very true, and I like that line. He said, never fuck with a dude that don't get, he said the B words, but never fuck with a woman that don't get itches, because they always gonna be jealous of you. It's a fact.
Yeah. That's
why I start hanging out with Marcus more. No, I'm playing.
Catching strays and just got back.
No, I'm saying that Marcus is attractive, so it's like I ain't gotta, you bring Marcus out. Now I'm starting to think I'm the ugly friend. Wait, quiet. Okay, so another one. So I would say this, right? And this is the truth for me. What I start realizing when it comes to people and their methods of dating and their style of dating, one of the biggest problems that they probably have is their communication skills. The things that you say to a person. If you don't know how to talk, if your only approach to women is, or to men, or whatever the case is the same approaches you've made with everybody else, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. Work on yourself. If you feel like you're okay.
Yes. I thought my iPad wasn't charging. I was like, what is happening?
Okay, I got you. I think I was going to check. All right, I got you. So working on your communication skills and working on yourself all at the same time, and try to be, I would say, as authentic as you can be in your approach too. The one mistake that people tend to make is not being authentically themselves. You're trying to be somebody else. So learn how to talk, learn how to be realistic or be authentic in your approaches to people, and just continue to work on yourself. That's all. Continue to be a better person. That's another part of the dating thing that can be an issue too. Like if you go in there and somebody say some crazy stuff to you and that, it's like, and they expect you to now, do this. That's a problem. Yo, what up, Caroline?
Hello.
Welcome, man. Joe, my God, Joe. A lot of people don't know how to express themselves in an adult manner, i.e., not raising their voice / accepting to know your faults. Yep.
A lot of people lack the skills of effective communication. And I honestly feel like, of course, ever since 2020, that's probably only gotten worse. If we only have to, during that time, if you only have to handle somebody through a computer screen.
It's just how you said it. I'll be cracking up. In 2020, it got worse. No,
100%. Once we were all stuck in the house, it got even worse. Now I really don't have to try. because I don't really, there's no reason to, right? So then it was either you get one of the two things, like, because everybody became so isolated, it's like, well, then I don't want to deal with this anyways. We don't have to confront it. I'll just leave. Like, I'm good on my own. Or you get people who are they only know how to be forward and, personable through a screen as opposed to face to face.
Right.
You got people, and because we were breaking down those lines of like being able to like talk to each other face to face and communicate, a lot of people just stopped wanting to talk about anything. And then also, I firmly believe that because we started thinking that everything was so expendable, it was like, why do I have to tough it out? I can just find somebody else on the internet. Like, swipe right and find somebody else. I don't have to try to work this out with you. I can find somebody else.
I find somebody else. That part right there. I need you to jot that down. Let's remember this for me, Basic. Please try. Because you're gonna forget. There's a chance you're gonna forget. And you're gonna be like, uh-oh. We both gonna be sitting here. All right, because I wanted to answer Marcus' thing. Marcus said working yourself contribute to individual culture. Hell yes. But the reason why I'm even mentioning this, because that all plays into learning how to communicate, because you have to do the work, obviously, right? So there we go. Marcus is 100% right. The double-edged sword, because it's still individualism. Like, it's still you working on you. But I feel like how you work on yourself matters. I will tell a person, hey, if you work on yourself, work on yourself. But how you working on yourself is gonna matter too. When people say they want to be in a relationship, cool. But when it's time for you to start dating again, who are you at this point? Do you know all the answers to what you are going to do? I am always constantly working on myself, constantly. I don't have the answers for everything, but I'm gonna tell you that now. I put the work in to learn some shit, to not do a particular thing. Like, wasn't super sexually active at all. Just started, straightforward. Just wait. Don't do nothing. Just stay just like this and chill.
Mm-hmm.
Chill, because if you chill, take your time, get your mind right, get everything right, you can be better for somebody. And then there's also the aspect of understanding a particular person, understanding the people that you're talking to and all those things. Like, that's the part where you have to start working on yourself, because you got to love. He said link me. So you send it to Marcus. I guess they try to come up. You hear me, Basic?
I'm sorry, what was the thing you going to do?
Send it. Can you send the link to Marcus?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I was
So that's just, I feel like some people have to try to work on certain aspects of themselves. Make it good for you, make it better for you, and you can learn how to be better for someone else. Because you don't just come straight in there and just go straight forward and just, all of a sudden know like how to talk to somebody, how to be the best version of you, and not feel like you have to hide things about you because you might be a little bit of a weirdo. You probably like to do, cartwheels before you get into bed. Okay, tell somebody that shit if you feel comfortable. No, I don't really mean that. But what was you alluding to again? It was something that you were saying.
I said we can just find someone else. I don't have to work on this. You can just find someone.
Yeah, that part right there is annoying. I'm gonna tell you why. Because if that's how quick you can move on in your mind, and then now everybody else is doing it too, it's like, oh, you can find somebody, I can find somebody too. Now you're in that stage now. Now both of y'all sitting there with that. Like, as if when you find that person that was the right person for you probably found an idiot. Like, I don't get the point of it. Like, do you mean that in a sense of sexually now? Because it's like, can you find a quality person? Is that what you're telling me? You can find a quality person. I posted this a little while ago, and I felt just like how Chad Johnson felt when he said, oh, you can find somebody better than me? Okay, get a nigga my gamer tag. We about to play some Madden. I'm gonna see how much better, see if he better than me at Madden. That's the quality that I'm thinking about. Like, don't just tell me somebody better than me. Like, okay, what's better than me? Like, I don't understand that. I'm not worrying about who's worse than me and who's better than me. Just find somebody who's good for you. Like,
we live in a culture of immediate consumption, and people feel that same way about people and relationships. I know people who just because they didn't like something about someone, they jump out of that. Like they'll be like all in, and then you don't like something one day and be like, nah, I'm gonna move on to this next person because they look more appealing, and they jump to that. That ends in a couple weeks. They move on to the next person because that one's, you know what I mean? It's everything is so readily available, especially on social media, and it also gives you the ability to detach easily, right? So we might live in two different cities. If you're a person who's not good with commitment. Oh shoot, I sent the wrong thing, I think. Either you're somebody who's not good with commitment or
you sent them a link to the podcast. They just turned it on and took it right back to YouTube.
I thought I did it right. I didn't. Sorry, I left out a letter.
Oh, forgiveness is a huge issue too. A lot of people will put up a wall and shut all the way down after conflict or mistrust.
I left the letter out.
Yes.
Hold on a second.
Yes, 100%. Me and her have had this issue. So yeah, I completely understand that. Also the idea around having options for men and women, people are easy to walk away. No, they can easily find someone else. Yeah. I think she actually wrote that while you were kind of alluding to your stuff too. So y'all were probably on the same page with that.
Excuse me. Whew.
It's usually 2, so I mean, it should be one more coming.
I'm trying to hold it back. But wait, what did she say? Also, the idea of having options for men and women, people, like 100%. I think it social media makes people feel like they have 1,000 options, but it also makes it so much more easier for people to feel like they don't have to commit to anything. Like if you have issues with commitment, social media is the place to be. You know what I mean? To just jump from one thing to the other. It's all right there. Like I don't have to commit, especially if y'all are long distance. I really don't have to commit. Like I can ghost you.
Right.
And pop
Yo,
what's
you can't
going
be
on?
sending me your OnlyFans link instead of the damn StreamYard. That was wild. I was like, damn, wow. They said,
What's up, Mark?
I forgot what I wanted to say.
Was it about the individualism when I was talking about
yeah, there's things like the way, a lot of times we talk about communication and how people indirectly communicate, and so much of that is taught culturally and we don't realize it. It like things that are really subtle and you wouldn't even know. It would be like, instead of, let's say everybody's eating like lasagna or something and there's like a little bit left, instead of saying I want that, you'll say like, anybody else gonna eat it?
Yeah.
Like that reinforces indirect communication. And so people don't realize so much of how we communicate it's just like a cultural upbringing, especially in our communities where we're not we're not taught to be direct, ask for what you want, be assertive and stuff like that, and it leads to those communication issues down the line as people get older.
I will say I can tell that, I don't know if you're doing this, but I can attest that Bubba do that. He don't indirectly ask. He'll just say, "Can I have that?" That's it. Like he'll never indirectly speak like, "Is anybody else going to eat this?"
Yeah.
He'll come straight to me and be like, "Can I have that?" And I'm like, so everything that you were saying, I'm like, obviously I can put to what you're saying to particular situations. So Bubba will definitely say, "I want that." I want to eat that.
It also has, like, I think also it's important for like women. I think a lot of us are taught to be, especially as children, polite and nice and say the nice thing. And like, for instance, like I think I might have brought this up before, like my sister with her daughter, she has 2 boys and 1 girl with her daughter. I had another person tell her that she didn't like that. Hope is like, what, 5? When Hope doesn't like something or she doesn't want it, she'll be like, no, and very definitively like, no, I don't want to.
Right. Yep.
But that, just because she was saying I don't want to them was to the adult was like, oh no, that's challenging. Like she shouldn't be that. She has, and my sister was like, absolutely not. Like as long as she's not being disrespectful, she has the ability to say I don't like something and she doesn't like it. I'm not forcing her to do anything she doesn't feel comfortable with or doesn't like. I want her to feel comfortable saying no, I don't want to, or no, I don't like it. I'm not going, I'm not. But we've been so conditioned to be like, when something doesn't feel comfortable, we just have to be polite and passive and, maybe let a little bit go. And it's not a good trait. It's not a good thing to teach our young girls. So
Yeah.
like, I applaud my sister for like allowing her. She's always been that way. Like, even if Kim would say when she was little, like, give me a kiss, and she'd be like, no, okay, then there's no kiss.
Yep. And children are the most underserved population in existence. And so much of what we teach them, or so much of what has been allowed to happen, is ways that like it's easy to give up or disregard your autonomy and stuff. Like it's like with family members, like you're supposed to, if someone asks for
As
a
a
hug
boy,
or a kiss
yeah.
or whatever to do the thing, or if somebody,
Mhm.
like I remember when my son was younger, my son has loose curls, and he doesn't like when people touched his hair, and he vocalized it, he communicate that, please don't touch my hair. Now, if somebody else would go to do that still, then I would step in.
Yeah.
But to
Right.
teach
I'm
them,
sorry
like,
for
like
yeah.
this no is a complete sentence.
Yes.
And like it's just like we do so much damage to children by not teaching them certain things.
100%.
I think that's a I mean, obviously, how we grew up as adults and in our approach to like what we're talking about right now, when it's just the dating aspect of things, that's another thing. No means no in many different ways. Like, it doesn't have to be just particular to this. It could be for everything, like, hey, no, this ain't gonna work for me. Yes, this is gonna work for me. What, no and yes, they're both complete sentences, right? If I say yes, it's done. If I say no, it's done. Like,
there's so much that we aren't taught or are expected to just figure out.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people they approach their relationships by the prescribed ideas of what's supposed to occur. The relationship ladder, you're supposed to do this, and that's supposed to lead to that, and that's supposed to lead to that. And when you want to talk about individualism, you also have to highlight the nuclear family model and how much that has had a chokehold on American culture.
100%.
That everything is supposed to lead to this very insular family unit. And it's a product of capitalism, because if everybody adheres to those rules in that unit, it keeps all these enterprises afloat,
Yeah.
and it resupplies the labor market. That's why things that deviate from those models are always met with so much resistance. Oh, you don't have a mother and father in your family? Oh, it's just one? Oh, are the parents the same sex? Oh, oh, you're choosing not to have children? Like, it's a disruption to those systems, and the powers that be don't want anything to do with that. They don't want you to think about that. So when we talk about like prescriptive relationships, it's like, people are trying to squeeze all these ideas they have into like this box that can't hold everything that like makes up the dynamics of people. And not everybody wants to do all the things. So some people don't want to get married, but they'll go into a relationship with the assumption that the other person does. That stuff's never communicated. It comes up, there's issues down the line. How people want to express themselves sexually, intimately in relationships, that has a whole range, but it's expected that if you're in a relationship, you have to do X, Y, and Z. And it's so it just creates a lot of issues that just don't get approached, because we aren't really taught the intricacies of relationships, and we're not really taught to explore and express ourselves as individuals. We're kind of taught that like, this is the mold and you have to fit it.
Exactly.
So I guess what I gather out of this is, like, for me personally, I think when I had to sit back and think about what was the goals of what I want to do in relationships or in my relationship, whether it's friends, whether it's romantic relations, whatever it's going to be, it's just like, be a good friend, a good person, a good partner, a good everything, without just feeling like I got to provide for you. I got to be this. I got to be these things. Like, understand who I am as a human being first, and then we could talk about the other things later. The other things that can be something that just is fun in conversation, just like, oh, do you like this? Do you like that? So I'm able to now share things with you about me that I could do, can't do, whatever the case is. Like me and you talked about it before, Mark, about the gender roles, and I was saying, oh, I don't conform to this, and you was like, well, no, you kind of do it still. Like, there's things that you do. It don't have to be this thing, but you're going to do something that's in that realm of the gender roles. You know, like for me, I'm like, okay, I'm cool with taking trash out. Oh, gender role. Gender role. I'm cool with taking trash out. You know, like I'm good with washing dishes. Gender role. Like, I'm good with doing certain things. Like,
yeah, I mean, talking specifically about gender roles, that's such a murky thing, because it's like, you know, like you should do because like of your abilities. When you get into I'm doing this because I'm a man, that's when you get into gender roles and stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
right.
Taking out trash is a neutral thing. You know, if a woman lives alone and she takes her trash out, she's not suddenly a man. You know, she's not suddenly, you know, it's a neutral thing. It's how we take and then assign those things because of these phenotypical traits or these shallow ass ideas of what existence is supposed to be, you know, that we run into all the issues.
Yeah.
Right.
To piggyback off of something that Marcus was talking about with individuality, I think like social media really kind of like helps to further like eradicate the idea of or the concept of individuality with people when everybody is trying to do the same thing that everyone else, you know, everyone's trying to live the same lifestyle. Everyone's trying to be a certain thing that they see that's fed to them every day. Everybody wants their relationship to look like what it's supposed to look like. And you sometimes can allow people to tell you what is wrong with your relationship without it might not even actually be the thing that it is. Like people stop realizing that what exists within my home and what we choose to do and what works for us has everything to do with just me and this person and what works with. And it may not look like what a relationship looks like to everybody else. But if it works for me and my partner, then that's all that matters. Instead, we subscribe to what we hear is not right, what we hear doesn't look good, what we hear does not make a healthy relationship. Oh, girl, you being used then if this is what's happening, or oh no, I would never put. And granted, in some ways there probably is lots of truth in a lot of things, and it can be. But I think we forget that our relationship doesn't have to fit a mold that somebody else tells us exists for us. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to. The way we express it, just like you said, the way we express ourselves sexually does not have to fit what someone else said it should look like. It should be about what we both feel comfortable with. Just because somebody else said this doesn't look good and this isn't right, and that doesn't mean anything to me and my partner. It should be about what we think it feels right for us and what.
Yeah. I think a lot of people forget that, like, or maybe people don't realize that social media is just visual merchandising.
100%.
And like and it's to cash out social currency, which has no real material value.
Right.
And so people do everything on there just to signal to other people that I'm doing the thing.
Yes.
And it's just like motherfuckers, like, people be broke. Like, people, like, you know, like,
yeah.
I don't know. I be seeing so much stuff, and I'm like, y'all not getting anything out of this. Y'all doing that for free. Like,
broke and telling us how to live our lives.
Yeah.
And we
somebody had posted a question.
Yeah. You want to go back to it? All right. What do you think of someone telling you, I don't want to end the relationship, but I'm willing to start over if I have to? We kind of alluded to that earlier, where it's like, I don't know if it's the same exact thing, basic. Like, remember when I don't know if this is how it's being framed. I'm just kind of assuming. I don't really do that, but I could ask Shane. Do y'all want clarity on that, or y'all good to answer that?
I kind of do. I don't understand
what
you would mean,
because I didn't want to just apply what I'm thinking he's saying. Yeah.
Start out with someone new, or start out with the same person? Because
that's what I was asking. Like, do you need more clarity? And because I'm looking at how it's being asked, And I'm thinking it was alluding to what you were talking about earlier.
I don't want to start over with somebody else, and so that's why I'm staying.
But I have to. Yeah, I'll do it if I have to, kind of thing.
No.
Or saying I don't want to leave. Like, I don't want to stay in this relationship, but I also don't want to start over with somebody new and learn somebody else. Is that what?
I think Shannon here probably fixed up the question because because it is nothing wrong with the question. I just want to see if what I'm
We're all on the
thinking
same
is
page.
with a new person to be the failure of being in love no more.
We need to reframe what we mean, or just get rid of the vocabulary altogether about success and failure in relationships. I think a lot of people in relationships for the right reasons. I think a lot of people get in relationships for good reasons and for bad reasons. I just think that because a relationship ended doesn't mean that it's a failure.
No.
It's a way of framing things that makes connections with people so cut and dry. And I don't know, there's something about it that makes connections feel expendable when we get into that type of language, like, oh, that was a failure. Or what does it mean? Like, what does it mean to be a success? Like, you can have people that spend 80 years in a relationship and ask your grandma how miserable for how long she was. I just like, that doesn't mean that's not successful to me.
But that's why I was even applying or telling Basic when this first started that we're talking about modern dating, but all those old ways of thinking is what's coming into now. Like you said, you have a grandma that been in her relationship with your grandfather, who might be passed on, or she might, whatever one it is, they've been 50 plus years, but 35 of those 50 years was the worst times of her life.
And he was cheating and had another family around the corner.
Family. Right.
You meet your cousins at your funeral, at the funeral.
Your sister cousins and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say this real quick. So when that happens to me personally, when that happens, I feel like a lot of people now are still trying to have that come to here. And it's like, I want that old school love. I want that this. And I'm like, okay, what old school law? Y'all do know what was happening then, right? Like, don't live the fairy tale that your grandmama might be good, but they don't, you know how many people was a problem back in the day? Look, I literally have, I'm saying this story, and I'm gonna say that I watched abuse happen to the grandmother and the grandfather on my side. I watched it. I came up the steps and looked and watched it happen. And I was like, oh, that's not love. Like, but to people, that is love. Some people think that that's the way of loving somebody. That's a part of their way.
I think that, no, I hear you. I'm not rebutting.
Go ahead.
I think people romanticize old relationships because they're old. They when really they haven't like sat down and listened to the things or listen to the details of what elders have said. Like you can't romanticize, oh, people were together for a long time where there were literal financial systems set up that oppressed women, where they could not be economically independent. They could not go to school. They had to marry young. Even people in my family, when I started listening to their stories and stuff, I'm like, oh, that was a grown ass man and you were in high school.
Yep.
And like people got to think a little bit more critically about about what they're trying to romanticize. I think when, and especially I think that people, when they start talking about like, oh, the traditional, they start getting into like these patriarchal ideas of what relationships should be. And then you get into people like admitting wanting subservience.
Yeah, like wanting somebody to be submissive
in a relationship.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, we talked about that 2 weeks ago. The guy that literally just wants somebody to be most men that are, obviously not to go back to it, but wanting to go back to the part of wanting a woman that's not going to talk back to him, or wanting a woman that's these things, or whatever the case is, and somebody that's going to be home and cooking and cleaning. And I'm like, hey, bro, you living in a time now where if your ass ain't making about $400,000 a year, y'all ain't gonna be comfortable. So I'm not even trying to hear that. Like, if you ain't making that type of money to take care of anybody, I don't want to hear it, because you should be able to provide every single thing about her life the same way you asking for her to do all these things for your life, right? You should be able to do that for her. If that's what you want, do it. We see what's happening over at Club Shay Shay, so you know.
Yeah, a lot of men contribute or don't contribute the
coming to you,
work that women do, or the work that they assign to women as labor.
Right.
And they feel that just because the labor that they do generates income, that women aren't performing any other type of work or labor because it doesn't do that thing. And so they don't recognize it as work. You know, it's a whole,
that's
the field of study.
Dude, like you, when I think when I sit back and I see people be like out here and having fun, being free, it almost looked like somebody's either jealous of that life, or they really think that they're the only person that's gonna be out here having fun. Like I don't get it sometimes. So success you learn from the relationship and understood yourself, or you got lost in someone else's dream that goes and morals. Yeah.
Okay, so hold on. I feel like we kind of like, did we gloss over what he asked? Because
no, we didn't. Marcus, yeah, we kind of did, because I think Marcus just alluded to the framing of what he was talking about. Or
I'm trying to find his original question. What do you think?
His original question was this.
No, it was
no. I'm sorry. This one?
Yeah. What do you think of someone telling you, I don't want to end a relationship, but I'm willing to start over if I have to? So I think my question is, start over with who? With that same person?
Oh yeah, because he says a relationship.
Yeah.
And not okay. I see.
That's where I was going at. That's why I didn't want to answer it, because I was like, wait. I mean, I was getting conflicted with it, because I'm like, okay, I think this is what's trying to be said, but I was like, you know what? Let me not even assume it. Let me just go ahead and try to figure out.
I think in either case, whether we're talking in general or with anybody or me specifically, yeah, I think that, like, I don't have an issue with it personally.
Right.
I think that most people make moves in their relationships for good reasons.
So Ron,
you know, like, hey, you know, this doesn't work for us and I'm not feeling like fulfilled. We don't have to be in a romantic relationship, but we don't have to not be in each other's lives. You know, like relationships can reframe themselves. Connections can reframe. I'm not opposed to it.
Yeah.
I don't think that it's, you know, I don't like that that people's connections are so, you know, they don't have to be messy. But this idea of things being so black and white and cut and dry, like either you're here or you're gone and not, or you didn't exist.
Yeah. I feel like you have to, if it's time, because the relationship or the relationship or the connection that you have is no longer serving you or is detrimental to you in some way, or you feel like your needs aren't being met, or you feel like you're being disrespected, I think it's perfectly okay to walk away. Why stay just for the sake of staying, to say I had a long relationship?
Right.
If you feel like you need to leave, then you should leave. If love lost, if you feel like your boundaries have been crossed, if you feel like you're constantly like giving too much of yourself and never getting anything back, if you're dissatisfied to a degree where you're just unhappy in general, it is okay to leave. There's the staying just for the sake of staying. So I don't want to end this relationship because we put so much time in. That to me doesn't even like.
Yeah.
That, because it's still not. Yes, you have time, but then what else? If it's not serving you, then what are you staying for? You know what I mean?
All that does is breed resentment.
Yes, you just
all you're doing.
Resentment, and then you're moving into other relationships with that resentment.
Yeah.
Now you're gonna apply that to them, or some type of problem to that next individual. Like now they gotta have to, handle all the shits that's happened before.
Right.
And that's not, because it's like that's a lot of that going on. It's a lot of that.
So if you have to start over, then start over. Especially if starting over means bringing some peace of mind back to you.
Yeah.
Start over.
Right. And I also say, like, and I know that's I got to figure out that I want to do more studies around that beginning part of a relationship. And I always say, like, hey, sometimes if you see it in the beginning, kind of learn how to get that out the way quicker, because maybe you stayed too long.
Right. But
I believe in that person staying too damn long too.
You don't always see the thing in the beginning.
You don't. That's what I'm saying. You can see it.
Sometimes
right.
It's a new issue that happened as time progressed, or for whatever reasons the two people changed and they grew apart, or you never know. There's a multitude of reasons why something could shift in a relationship that changes the way you two treat one another.
Yeah.
But like, I know that there's so many people who like, I don't want to start all over again because then I might run the risk of not finding somebody else that I love. But what is the lesser of two evils, right? Like either you stay and you're unhappy and you're resentful and you feel every day like your needs aren't being met, or you start over and you try and maybe you don't find it right away, but maybe you do. Like right. you have to take that chance.
Right. But you know what? I have an example of that. I always say, like, because I remember having a conversation with somebody not too long back, right? And I was telling them, like, hey, the person that you're with should be like how you are with your friends. You just obviously not fucking your friends. Like, I mean, some people do, but you're not. I mean, in the sense of like if this is how this is how your relationship is, this is how your relationship is. These are the same things. Just you're choosing this person in a different light. You know what I mean? Like, and I had somebody arguing, my girl ain't never gonna be my friend. She gonna be this. I said, well, why are you in a relationship? That's a relationship at the end of the day. The friendship is a relationship. You know what I mean? Like all the things that you do is still a relationship at the end of the day. Like you have to find a way. And that's why I'm like, of course, y'all gonna fail at this because your expectations for that person is different. You're this for that person is different. You're treating them different. But do you treat your friends the same exact way that probably do the same exact thing that you say that your person is doing?
I think some people will treat and view will treat what they do with their friends differently than what they do in their relationships. There's not the same honesty. There's not the same, you know what I mean? Like what I can tell my friend, I can't tell my partner. And that's why they can't see it the same, because they're not giving the same thing to both. That's why they can't put the two and two together. They can't figure out how my partner can also be my friend, because they know that friendship to them means something different. Like there's a different, you know what I mean? And so, and I agree, like if you can have that same level of honesty and transparency and like look at your partner the same way you look at your friend, I do think that builds a different type of relationship. Yeah. But a lot of people feel like the two cannot coexist.
Yeah, exactly.
They deal with their friendships very differently than they deal with their relationships. And their relationships, they're not going to say the thing they will go and call their homeboy and say, you know what I mean? Or their homegirl and say, they're not going to have that same conversation with their partner.
Because it's gender exclusive to them.
But it would be great if they could, and they should be able to. If I can still have the same kind of conversation with you and not worry about you being insecure or jealousy and all that kind of stuff, can you imagine like the power of that kind of relationship if we can have those kinds of conversations? And I feel like I can be open with you in that way. Right. And yet you are also the person that I love too at the same time. We're also still together and we can still like have sex and all that too. And I can still treat you like I can imagine the power that comes with that.
I think Marcus do that. I think Marcus do that. I think Marcus like, man, you know what? I done did this with a maybe trying to go have some sex. Like, yeah. Like, oh shit. No. Like that's probably dope as fuck to be able to just do that. Like that's it.
Conversation.
I didn't think that existed until recently. The kinds of things that me and my partner talk about are the kinds
but also
we wouldn't have talked about anybody else.
I was gonna say, Mike, to you also, it takes just being in relationships with very secure people. So,
Yes.
Yeah.
You have to have
like
a
we're all
certain
very, very
security to be able to
secure.
do. Yeah, 100%. Because not everybody's built for that.
Yep.
Yeah. You know what's crazy is like something that's starting to make me tick is it don't make me tick, but it raises like a ding to me. Like when someone goes, when I do say something, then immediately it feels like I don't know. Like I'm like if it's in the past, it's in the past. So it's like when it becomes like the insecure part of things, it's like what do I like? I gotta handle that situation now. Nothing wrong with it, but I'm like, oh, okay. Like maybe I just like that. Sometimes you need that security out of somebody too, like because of how like I can be. Maybe I need the same thing sometimes too. Like I need somebody just as strong mentally as far as that to be able to tell information and be okay with it. You know, like oh, all right, this is something that happened before, or this is something that happened in your past. Like
You mean like you telling somebody something that happened in the past, and like a past relationship, and whether or
it's
not
like it don't matter what
able
it
to be
is. Like
secure with it?
something. Yeah. Maybe sometimes I need
And
that.
see, and that is the
Yeah.
very reason why a lot of people find it difficult to look at their partner as their friend and treat it the same way as friendships, because when sex and emotions get involved, sometimes you're not able to do that with a person.
Right.
And Marcus was right.
Somebody start
It
becoming
has a lot to
controlling
do
and stuff
with
like
confidence, right? I should be able to listen to my partner tell me about a past relationship and not flip out because it's a past relationship. And if I'm confident in what we have, then what am I questioning? And why am I getting so up in arms? But that can be that is optimally what we would all want to happen, but it's also we have to admit that doesn't happen that way all the time. A lot of people, as soon as you mention your ex, oh, now we got a problem because why are you even talking about her? You know what I mean? Or him? Like, why are you even bringing him up?
Right. I want to get to some of these comments. I know we can allude to them, but for real quick, we might as well do a little PSA. I guess on my Twitch, Horrible Figures, cheap viewers on streamboat.com. Remove the space at 8246 lowercase 0 F 85.
Lowercase 0. That's wild.
Lowercase 0.
0.
But no, just then go get to the comments. All right, so this is a while back. I'm gonna go to this one. Shane has said the current relationship is because one has fallen out of love and starts with a new person. You're still in love with them, and the partner isn't in love with you anymore, so you're willing to work. So I guess is that what you were mentioning? I guess maybe that was for what you were talking about earlier. I'll go back to it. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was trying to understand the current relationship is because one has fallen out of love.
I think he's given more to the original question of not wanting to be in a relationship, but trying or something like that.
Yeah,
something like that question.
Okay. This is what y'all talking about.
Just to say really quick off that, if one person is not in love anymore, just because you may want it, but they have to want it too.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Again, you're doing nothing but breeding resentment.
Yeah. If they don't want it too, then you're only setting yourself up for further failure.
That shit just gonna eat you alive.
Yeah.
Milan said, yes, I should have left my child's father well before I had my son. It was something that we were talking about earlier. She said, Carolyn said, same here. Ron said, absolutely basic. Why be with someone and there's no cohesion and peace? If it's worth it to start over, do so. But if you start over and get the same treatment as before, you've wasted your time.
Right.
So one thing we don't get back is time. So you said it, my fault. I don't know. I think that was in response to something from earlier. We didn't get to these comments. I'm sorry, y'all. Yes, it does. Some people haven't been taught to be able to differentiate between the two. Some very successful relationships are great or best friends. Yep.
Oh, we're talking about the difference in friends and relationships. Yeah.
Yeah. That comes with maturity and understanding basic ex-lovers are exes.
100%.
Yeah. Don't judge me, but I think friendship is viewed one way a lot. But as other relationships, the friendship relationship should be established. Yeah, that's to be established right away. Or at least that should be a goal of what you want out of a person. Like, I think a lot of times when we start looking to who we're talking to, is like they do the man woman thing. So it's like, well, we do the man woman thing. Like, it's a woman, it's this, or it's a man, it's this. Like, oh, I want to. Then the people start looking at how they're gonna, how this relationship is gonna work. Are they going? How soon are they gonna get sex? How soon are they gonna do this? How soon are they gonna do that? So they kind of look over everything that they originally was here for anyway. So, and this is applying towards the modern dating. I feel like that happens a lot, where people just literally are bypassing a whole bunch of stuff.
How much difference is there between modern dating and what people conceptualize as like traditional dating?
Nothing.
Because it seems like people are asking for the same shit.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what I was saying. That's why I told basically I was like, modern dating is just, it's all the same thing. It's just I think that what changes it is just social media.
It's the medium in which we date.
The media in which we date, because like I said, I know it started when we were kids. We talked about the AOL days. Once we learned that it was a new ability to do something, like I said, it was different. Like when you had that one fine ass girl in your neighborhood and everybody wanted to talk to her, but only one person possibly got with her. Like, I was at one point. Now the fine girl is in Atlanta, or the fine girl is in goddamn North Carolina or LA or somewhere where you can go travel to see them now, because you can see them in real time.
No, I think you're right, Marcus. We do all kind of want the same things, and we're still looking for and asking for the same things. But I think because the medium in which we date has changed, sometimes it also changes how we date, like how we approach dating, how we handle.
I don't believe that. I'm just at that last comment.
Oh, it's not
that the dating pool is so much worse or whatever these days. I just don't agree with that sentiment. I think you'll see consistently over time that people have always been pretty shitty.
All right, Barry, you have a good night. I know you gotta get to work, so enjoy your night.
It's like I think about myself, and this is my own bias based off of my experiences. I love dating. I date a lot. I have a lot of fun. Just based off my experiences, it's really not pissy.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
I feel like, but also I feel like maybe it's also, I think maybe part of what he's saying more so has to do with like I was saying, since the medium in which we date has changed, it also has changed the way people approach dating.
Oh, absolutely.
And because a lot of things have become more performative and superficial, and so because it's changed like the overall structure of how we date now, it makes the dating pool look horrible when everybody's like trying to put on this performance, or everything seems really shallow, or everything seems like it's only for consumption of others. It's hard to find genuine connections with people now.
Because so that is one thing that I'm totally that I totally support, is that we do go about doing the thing differently. And the role that social media plays basically took people out of actually being in community. People don't go out anymore. Our reliance on the internet in order to find connection is the internet and internet companies, social media they are not your friends.
Right.
They are not in the business of building connections with people. All of your dating apps and stuff like that, they are set up to keep you clocked in on their apps. They're not your friends. People, you are more likely to meet somebody by frequenting things that it is that you like to do. If I like to go to the fucking library, chances are I'm going to meet somebody at the library, and there's a common interest off the bat. Right there. Like you have to get out and stop relying on the internet in order to find the connections. Like I said before, social media is nothing but visual merchandising. Is people putting the best face forward, is people putting the representative of how they want to be perceived forward and not who they are. And you're supposed to understand a person by reading a couple paragraphs on a profile. It does. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah. Especially when
Fine.
people are now all structuring their relationships, or what is metering their relationships based off of what they see online. Like, this is good because this is what it looks like on somebody else's page. The same person who set up and propped up a camera and selected lighting and put a timer on and then filmed that, what you see, and you like, this is what love looks like. No, this is what this scene they set for us looks like.
Yes.
And so now people are sitting back looking like, this is what I want my relationship to look like. This, it can, but also please remember that they filmed this. There's lighting. The camera is propped up a time, and if this didn't look right, if it was shot from the wrong angle, they probably recorded it more than once.
Yep.
And then there's like me and Mike were talking about, and then there's some nice music that's playing in the background that's really so like, because there's a disingenuousness that comes like along with it now too, with dating, where people are all trying to do something for likes and clicks or what looks good on social media, as opposed to like building a true connection and relationship with somebody. And because it's all about what it looks like to other people, it's very hard sometimes to find those genuine connections.
Yeah.
You guys have said a lot. I appreciate it.
You guys have said a lot.
Extra dry. No, I really appreciate this. All right, so
appreciate it.
yeah, you fix your core. We don't have that much time left because I was only going an hour and a half. I ain't gonna lie. I like hour and a half too. Basically, I just kind of like it. It's kind of a sexy thing to do. But so I guess for me, I guess the totality of this conversation and the point of this conversation was to kind of just like really just shed a little bit more light on how this stuff is being perceived, and like that people really should put the work into learning themselves first. Like you said, the individualism, like you do kind of have to put the work into yourself to figure out maybe what am I doing wrong? Am I doing something? I'm in this, like give your own reality checks. And then also learning how to be better as a person too. I wouldn't say somebody should just go and just start bringing all their problems to it. Okay, your experience is your experience. You know what you don't like. You know it's this. You know that. You know what you've been through with a person. Okay, but that don't mean that everybody has to suffer now. I mean, everybody has to be through, go through the shit that you've went through. You don't have to do that.
Like I do have a like a rebuttal to that with the work on yourself and how and why that plays into individualism. It's like I don't want to say harmful, but it's not always productive. Because like imagine someone doesn't know calculus and you tell them go learn it on your own. That is not an easy thing to do, subject aside, but for a person to be able to clock and understand what it is that they don't know in order to learn it is a really far-reaching task. It's just not an easy thing to do, no matter how educated a person is. So simply saying and relying on the idea of like go work on yourself to be better in your relationship and stuff, like people don't have a good point of reference as to what may be decent or what may work. And so the collectivist approach is simply to exist IRL in community with each other, because your behaviors are going to get clocked. You're you're going to get told by your neighbor, you're going to be told by your friend how you are and stuff like that. That stuff gets communicated back and forth. It's like in the same way, like you don't want to raise a kitten by itself. You raise kittens in pairs or with their siblings because they check each other and they grow up way more well-mannered than you would if you had a solo kitten from birth. It's that same idea. So like while I understand there are moments where a person can go back to the drawing board about themselves and stuff. I think it's actually more helpful if people just like get out and exist around each other more instead of just relying on the internet. Most of the internet, most of what you see in social media is armchair psychology 101 at its best. And most of the time, I don't know what the fuck they are talking about.
Yeah.
they just say it because it sounds good.
Yeah.
And just to kind of add to it, well, I guess where my approach would be saying maybe I need to change the wording of it, of working on yourself is, do you look at yourself as a problem? Do you look at yourself as, yo, I need to put this work in because maybe I'm doing a particular thing that is possibly becoming a problem now? Like, that's what I'm thinking about.
But most people can't recognize that. I know.
People... That's why I was going to apply. Like, hey, when you start working on that and you're able to sit back and maybe see something, that's when you can kind of go and look at other things. Like,
most
as and I agree with you, because I think I've had times,
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I've said I've had times where I'm like, okay, I'm thinking too much about this. And I've come into the groups and talked to y'all. Yo, what do y'all think about this? What do y'all think about that? And I'm able to hear two different answers, because that's why I'll go to you, Charles, and then I'll hear Metz, and Metz will say something. And for the most part, I have three different perspectives that can be able to tell me something. You know what I mean? And I'm like, all right, I get it in my own way now, because I've learned some stuff. And maybe, okay, so now when y'all tell me it, now I'm able to go to the right source. That's basically how I do things. So you're right. You're right 100%, because maybe some people need to actually go into more groups. And I've actually referenced that to people like, yo, get around people that do the opposite of whatever it is that you're doing, like somewhere where you want to learn how to grow with somebody. Maybe you need to find those type of groups of people. But that's what I do. I'll go inside the groups with y'all and I'll ask questions. I'll say, hey's this, hey's that.
People can't normally clock what it is, like as far as like what they're doing is bad or wrong or stuff like that, because all they're seeing is their actions and the benefits that they personally get from doing those actions. And it comes, if it comes to the detriment of other people, a lot of times people turn a blind eye to it. So it's really hard for somebody to look at what it is that they're doing and how they function, and for them to internalize, oh wait, maybe is what I'm doing like fucked up, or what is it costing someone else for me to do this thing? The only way most people get that, by those consequences coming back at them via someone else. Like if you do something that hurts somebody and they come and they say you, now you're aware. But if that is severed, if that doesn't exist and you're supposed to just go figure it out on your own, you're not going to see it. Most of the time you're not going to see it. And we're not talking about overt behavior. We're not talking about things that are like fucking borderline crimes. Even small little things that people say on the day-to-day, things that they've always, like, they grew up saying or hearing and stuff like that. If they don't have other people clocking them on what it is that they're saying and doing, they are not going to think otherwise about it. They're not, it's not going to enter their sphere of things that should even be looked at.
Right. And that's in a sense to say this, because I don't know, he might be watching, he might not. I've sent my homie this that I work with too. He said he was talking about he had a conversation with his person, and she told him it was an issue with him calling her a female or something like that. And he didn't. Yeah, that's definitely your end. That's that alarm to tell you get your ass up to go to work.
Yeah, it is.
How the fuck do I turn this shit off? What is that shit, playing Zelda or something? But so I was when he was saying it, he was like, yeah, I don't give a shit about that. I didn't want to hear none of that shit at all. And I was like, well, they're right. And I just said it flat out like that. I was like, well, they're right. They're right in that approach to it. And then he was like, yeah, but you called me a male. Okay. Correct her. That's all. Like, that's all. You don't have to play, tick for tack like with it, because at the end of the day, if she was wrong and you're wrong, like y'all both wrong together. Like, so that there's no real way to really put it any type of way. But it's like basically what you're saying. Like, if I at least laid the ground for it, I can probably come back to that conversation again and be able to really go in and explain and really say this and really try to say, hey, do this little search right here and you'll see for yourself. And just look at it if you think it's a problem or not. If you want to continue on saying it.
Or get punched in the face. One or the other.
Right. Like one or the other. It's not
like I always say, getting punched in the face from your parents is abuse. Getting punched in the face from your friends is a lesson.
Thinking about like who you gonna punch? I'm gonna sock this shit out of this boy. Like, nah, but yeah, we all got good understanding of shit. All right, it's about that time, y'all. About that time.
Looking at that Audible account.
Audible account?
Yo, I seen a post recently. It was like, what if you it was a woman like walking at night and ended up getting like mugged or robbed for her purse. You know, she has on headphones, and it's like what it would be like if you was getting mugged while listening to smut. That shit had me dying. Yo, that shit had me fucking rolling. It was like as I pulled his drawers off, and she said it like, like that shit. I was like, yo, wow. Like, you fucking fighting this nigga off at night while you're listening to the sweat roll down somebody's ass crack. And like,
oh shit. Oh my god. I'm sorry, y'all. I know we got this show. That shit give me I got lightheaded, yo. I can't imagine like you sit there on a bus trying to listen to a little freaky bus.
Yeah.
You hear a nigga walk up on you, give me all that shit, young boy. Give me all that shit. No, can I keep the phone? No, give me that till he unplugged the headphones.
Right. What you listening to?
Go deeper. He's sitting there like, oh, you a freaky little young boy.
Wrapped his hands around my neck. Thrust it. I ain't gonna lie, I got into that shit for a little bit.
What them
I was blown away. First time I read it, I didn't expect it to be a sex scene in a novel that I was reading. And when I read it, dog, I was like, get the fuck out of here, this shit. That shit was crazy. I was like, yo. Yeah, I fell down a rabbit hole for a bit. I was reading all sorts of stories and shit. That shit was crazy.
About to write your own and everything.
No. If you got an imagination and somebody write a good story, that shit is crazy.
No, you're right.
Like,
I ain't gonna lie, I still want to write
the girlies. I understand.
Somebody told me to read it. They was like, Mike, you got a voice for it. You should just read it. I'm like, first of all, I struggle with my appearances and sentences. I'm gonna fuck it.
I was about to say you can't have that. You be fumbling over your words and shit. Like, and yeah, the lowercase 0. Like, oh.
No, I said that one on purpose. I promise you, I said that one.
Oh Lord!
But I would definitely mess up.
You can't read and stumble over the words, so you just have to you have to do.
Yeah. That shit gonna be like, I'm gonna read that joint like I'm 50 Tyson or something. What? Remix, like that's gonna be me. Like, no, I'm fucking that joint up. But somebody told me to do it.
Somebody think that they could do audio books and like they try to read like the erotic novels and their voice makes you cringe.
I've never.
Oh my gosh!
I never heard nobody be that.
No, there's people on TikTok who they get into it because somebody told them that their voice was sexy, and then all of their posts have become them reading some sort of sexy insert, and then I'm like, ew, who told you to do this? Why? Ugh, this is horrible. You don't have the
no. I'm gonna tell you now. That's probably one of the reasons why I protect myself in a certain way when it comes to people. I get scared of certain things. Like I don't want to be embarrassed by nobody. Somebody hype me all the way up, like 2 or 3 people hype me up, like yo, do it. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do it. And then that one person come on, what the fuck you do that for?
Right?
Yeah, no, no,
You trash. What the fuck?
right? Like yo, that shit garbage, bro. What the fuck did you thinking? I'm just sitting there. Now I'm looking like that fucking monkey, that what was that? A fucking orangutan that was cooking the meal that had the hat on that was looking around and shit.
The baboon.
The baboon, yeah, that's gonna be me looking around with the slap ass face. Like, no, you're not getting me. Mm-mm. So, yeah. But anyway, look, right? Basic definitely. Her face is telling a whole story, yo. Y'all going into these comments.
It was so crazy. And what's so crazy is he was attractive until I heard it. Like when I was like, now you're not even attractive anymore. This is how you read?
Oh man. Yeah, so indiscriminately when he placed his hands on my shoulders.
Right.
Nigga sound like Ice-T when he read.
God, it was horrible.
You sound like Shannon Sharp when he read.
Oh.
Let me read y'all these text messages real quick.
A skippity doop dop.
You want this black Italian stallion?
I think Shannon he gonna want to, once he's done with this. I ain't gonna talk about it because once again, that's not my situation.
He can't leave them snow bunnies alone.
Listen, man, the race play is just not it. Not when you that type of person. That's just not it. That's not it. Like I said,
you need a book. I'll book for you.
that case has to handle it. What's crazy, Mark? I was listening to him and Chad Johnson because I still listen to them talk about the sports and stuff. And he told, what did he say? He tried to tell Chad Johnson, like, how you gonna do that? What's the point of lying about it? I'm sitting there like, nigga. Like, dude, when you be talking, do your brain ever just go back to say, I got a case right now? I got a case right now. I got a case right now. Like, do that in the midst of you talking. I feel like you had alluded to that a while ago, and I had to see it for myself. I was like, damn, this motherfucker is everything that Merck said he was. Like, everything. This bull just playing race play with a
teenager.
A teenager.
With kids, nigga. That's like your granddaughter's age.
Did you see the messages part of it, Mark? I was crying when I was looking at it. I said, yo, as soon as I ain't gonna lie to you, I heard the audio and I was like, I don't think that's his voice. And then I was like, all right, let me do another check into this. Then somebody put the messages that them two were having with each other. I was like, I immediately went to, oh, they doing race play. That's crazy work. That's either DDGG or DDDG or race play or whatever it was. It's one of those kinks. That's all I know. Have you heard it? I took you up.
Freaky. Hell yeah, I'm freaky.
And he love them little youngins. That's all it is. Like, and then you got to know that. Listen, and when you sent me that scene yesterday, it was perfect for me to add it to the We Got Questions stuff. It was perfect. Imagine a sexual scene with Shaq's voice. Oof.
Oh my God. Oh yeah, so when I came around the corner, and she was sultry and sexy. You know,
you gotta do this job, Bart.
And I just started yelling, "Can you dig it?"
Oh man, he already sound like a runaway slave, so that doesn't.
Yeah, it don't help.
That girl can't even drink alcohol, yo. These facts.
That's crazy. Yeah,
it's facts. Yeah, that's just I don't know. Listen, once again, they're gonna tap them pockets. All right, y'all. We're gonna get out of here. Basic. Thank you for, of course, a good show again. Beat for Balkness. Thank you for coming through, hanging out with the old boy Rick James. And we'll catch y'all again next. What? She 22 now? No, she 20.
Yeah, I thought she was 20. I thought they said she was 20.
I mean,
I don't give a fuck what the fucking age is. Like, you messing with kids, nigga.
Right?
You was at the end of your career when she was born.
Right.
Like,
Keep me at 2,000, baby.
oh yeah. How many twos is in her birthday in the year? If it start with 19, I don't want them. Like, was I out of high school when she was born?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
See?
And I feel old. Like, you know what's crazy? All right, this is gonna be the last thing, and then you gotta get off. We gotta get off. Yo, math be like it's something about the way math works and the way it feels that is a complete disconnect for me, because in the year 2000, I was 14 years old. If you'd have told me in 2026 I'd be hitting 40, I'd be like, no, that's wrong. That's fucking stupid. That don't make sense. The math is perfect. It still don't fucking make sense to me. I get shit. Like,
this is how you think about. That's how you think about time. Just. I feel like yesterday was us sitting at my mom's house playing a game.
Listen, 20 years ago was 1980. I stick to that. You tell me 20 years ago.
Yo,
you tell me 20 years ago was World Trade Center. I'm like, no, it wasn't.
Right.
It was like yesterday. What you talking about?
The crazy part, it was more than 20 years ago for the World Trade Center.
We almost on the 10th anniversary of Harambe dying. That shit. I'm like, 10 years already?
Oh, my nigga. It was 2016. Yo, did you see the video? Hold on. Did you see the video? They showed like a little black kid. It was like, or white. What was it? I think it was a black kid. He was like, oh, it was me. You know, my dad Harambe. I was like, what? But the whole point was he was the one that Harambe was dragging inside the
Oh,
so they I said, yo, what's up with people? Long live Harambe.
Long live Harambe.
Around 2023, she was 19. Yeah. Oh, so she is 20. Okay, so she is like 21, almost 22. He don't have to be a grand. It don't matter. Like, you just
like I said, I don't give a damn if she was
the fascination and loving youngins like that. Like, it's just it's cringe. It's cringe, especially what he did. Like, they're grown, but race play with it too.
Hey, you know, some people just like it like that. And he was
big diesel gorilla back.
Can't shame me for what it is that I like to do between the sheets. Right.
And that's what he lives by that too. He'll live by it. Well, what I do outside of my stuff shit in the plot. Well, obviously it is now, bro, because it's actually hurting Chad Johnson too while you at it. Like, while you at it is hurting everybody that you got under your umbrella. ESPN took a smack to the face twice already. Like,
yeah, you got white women upset. It's a wrap. Pack it up. Pack it up.
48 Laws of Power is amazing.
Oh, the book.
They're suggesting books.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
good as hell. As hell. Trust me, I'm old. That shit took me a minute to get to. I was like, ASL. That what the fuck?
Age, sex, location, right?
No, it's just as hell. As hell. Like as good as hell. Yup. ASL. Yup. It's good as hell.
It's fucking like YNs now. Let me in this
I'm like, listen.
It's ending, y'all. Bye, y'all.